15 editors battle to win Hicksfield subscriptions worth over $5,000. They have two rules: use the voiceover provided and use AI in the edit itself. Who's going to win and who integrates AI in the best way possible? And if you want to try out the tool they used, the link is in the description. Let's jump into it. The first one is Arish. What an action scene, right? Porsche 911. This is Hicksfield. Hicksfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces, use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. Wow. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Hicksfield today. Wow, that was so cool. I don't know what to expect, by the way, but like that scene at the beginning did drag me in. There's one big thing that I noticed. I don't know if you guys did the same, but the sound effect. I don't know what it is, but that really takes me out of it. I think maybe you use the standard sound effects, like the sounds that are under it, but they're like really like fading in, fading out. And here it fades out, fades in again. I mean, but this was so dope. I mean, you can clearly see some AI quirks, right? Like the 911 badge, small things, but look how beautiful this shot looks. I think it's really cool. I think also the car chase scene is really dope. I think it was a bit too long in my opinion, but I like the concept because like basically show don't tell, right? After this, you really tell like the concept of the platform and really like explain the features here. But I think it's really cool that you started with this. I think some improvements with the scene, especially with the sound effects that really dragged me out of it, and some obvious AI quirks here and there, but that's not really your fault. That scene was so dope. This is Hicksfield. Hicksfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood. I'm almost thinking if it would have been better without that scene, or really short, like bam, 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 and then like get into it. Level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Hicksfield today. Really cool though. Oh, what a first one. What are you thinking? Really cool style? I do agree. Nice animations also. Like a really solid edit, I would say. Very nice. Very good. Very nice. No more comments. It's nice. I think this also summarizes it a bit. Like it's not like super crazy. It's just solid. There are some things with the sound and the pacing in the beginning that I think can really be improved. Concept is very good, but the sound effects could have been better. Exactly. I think this is like a solid A. Again, I don't know the other edits. I'm a bit blown away, but not like blown away. Like the edit is cool. I also love that you did the Porsche. I think that's always cool. So I'm gonna put you on A. And the next one is Edriel Media. This is Hicksfield. Hicksfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Hicksfield today. Nice. I think you really captured the emotion with a lot of things, like these scenes, especially in the beginning. I think this is so dope with the Kodak Portra to cinematic videos within, and then turning it to life seconds. I love that concept. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood. I love the music too. Level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX. It's really nice. With the text, it's also because of the colors of Hicksfield. This almost doesn't really fit the vibe. The cinematic, which you're like going for in the beginning, then this makes it almost a bit more like an Instagram reel because of the font color. And like, again, this is not your fault because you didn't choose the color. Well, you did choose the color, but Hicksfield is just this color. I think if you just made this a bit more cinematic with the text, or not have the text at all, because I think you were going really well without the text. You can transform real life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add... Yeah, I think it could have worked without the text. Or if you would do it like this, then see if you can make the text a bit more cinematic. Then this, yeah, again, it's a color. It's super bright. It's really in your face. I don't think it really fits the vibe that you were going for in the beginning. This is cool though. Then this, yeah, I get where you're going for. It's just really low res. A trick to basically improve this is to just go in Google Chrome, zoom in a lot by hitting Command or Control plus, and then just like have it crazy big, and then then record it. Because if you record it basically zoomed out and then you zoom in the editing program, it will look a bit like messy. Or you need to animate it manually, which of course takes a lot of time. Again, would have been cool if this was a bit more cinematic. Different fonts, different colors. And if you search on Pinterest for like cinematic titles, you'll see what I mean with that. Yeah, again, solid edit. I would say like, especially the beginning, I wish you would have continued in this style. Ayup is saying sound effects are a bit too loud. I also agree. Philip, I think he could have gotten away with no text. Okay, so you agree. That's good. But yeah, I like the music. I like the storytelling that you basically created. It looks really cinematic. I like that. Let's get voting. For me, it's difficult. I think these are already, in terms of the amount of feedback, quite similar. Like Arish did some more stuff with the animation. I would say also creating a whole separate scene. Whereas Justice basically made this cool sequence in the beginning with the cinematic, which I really loved. Then with the text, yeah, I would have loved if he continued with that. So I think they're really similar. I wouldn't even say that one is really worse than the other. So for now, I'm going to put them both on A tier. And let's see if the others make it more difficult or more easy. Davey, I agree. I'm glad. At least one person. That's already a win for me. The next one is David. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this. And even add camera movements like zooms, pans or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Oh, really nice. This does always, like with those cool AI shots, it does do something, right? Like it makes it look really cool and what you can do with it. What I noticed at first, I don't know if you guys had the same, but the pacing in the beginning was quite slow. Even though the animations and the stuff on screen was really big, there was a moment here where I was really waiting for the scene to happen. So like here, let's see. Higgsfield lets you turn. Also no music here. That also was a bit weird. I think especially in a video like this, you want to really drag someone in. Images into cinematic videos within seconds. Yeah, that took a bit too long for me. I think that is really important to get you into the video. But this was really dope though. I think this was so cool. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this. And the same here. I think it's good if you sometimes have like a pause, right? But it also went on a tiny bit too long. Add camera movements like zooms, pans or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with... Man, this was really dope. I think you ended it really well. I think it's funny, right? Because if you look at the previous one with the pacing, that it was almost a bit like it started off really well and then it went down a bit. And then here, I would say it started a bit lower, but then went up. Yeah, I would almost say like really check that beginning. That the beginning is good because you want to drag people in, of course. But your generations are crazy. What are you guys saying? That's where all his credits went to. That's so funny. Ayup is saying that 3-second silence killed the flow, but crazy generation. Yeah, I agree. It's cool how you mix it, of course. I really like that because like I've said this before. I hate just having just scenes and then if you combine it or with like this, like how you did it, it's really creative. Yeah, I love that. Live footage into Hollywood level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this. See, it does make me want to try out the platform. And I think that is also really important. And I would say I have that more than with the others. I think I'm already going to make a move. I'm going to move these down and I'm going to put you in A tier. I could put you in A tier with the rest, but then we already have 3 A tiers. So A for the AI vids. I agree, Davey. And the next one is Philip. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this and even add camera movements like zooms, pans or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Wow, there were some really cool shots in here. What noticed me at first is the music is too loud, in my opinion. It was really difficult to still hear the voice and the sound effects also. This part where there's no music yet, this really does drag me into it. Sometimes you don't even have to start directly with like music or like a voiceover. It makes me interested in like what's happening here, right? Like... course, it felt a bit random, but cool. You're also just showing what's possible, right? Start creating. That shot was also really dope. There's some shots that I'm like, okay, this is so cool. Like, I almost wish this shot was a bit longer. And then this animation almost felt a bit random. Yeah, again, I'm not the biggest fan of that color. I think it makes it look less luxurious. And that's just because with that bright yellow, what you could have done, for example, is just have a black background, have these elements float around, and then have like a yellow line basically going through it or something. That could work, but still having these elements like float. What I do like also with the concept of this is basically with those texts, it's almost like the prompts that you use that are like floating through the air. I think that concept is really dope. That's really creative. Bro tried every prompt out there. It did feel a bit random. There was not like the same theme through it. I guess you just showed more like what is possible with the tool, which is also not bad, by the way. If I compare it to the rest, I would say it's a bit also in the same league, I would say, and same amount of feedback as Arish, Edriel Media, aka Justice. So I would say I'm going to put it in B tier. I still think David has a bit less feedback, made a bit more sense on how the AI shots were integrated in the video as well. Really showing like examples and making that clear to the user. They shouldn't be together.
Can you believe they're still together after all the shit they've been through? Oh, your butt cheeks.
You really try to get everything together, and David more like try to showcase these as like separate things. The next one is gifted creations. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real life footage into Hollywood level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Wow, that transition. I didn't expect that. Nice submission again. Let's go through it. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into a nice beginning. Again, with the colors. It's not your fault. It's just like, I think black background, white background, and then maybe having like the green yellowish elements in here somehow. It's not bad or something. I think it works a bit nicer than the other ones that we see where it's just this color. But still, this was a bit like slow also because I would love to see some like continuous motion in the motion graphics. Real life footage into Hollywood level. I love the examples though. It's really cool. Also how you did it with the preview. All by the press of a button. Nice. Here there is something bugging with the edge that took me out of it a bit. That is probably because you're using 3D and then 3D doesn't know where to put a layer. So if you have two elements that are on the same like depth, then After Effects doesn't know which one it needs to put forward. And to fix it, you just duplicate this stroke layer that you made. You just add a stroke to that. And then you say like, hey, let's put this like 5 pixels in front of it just so After Effects knows this needs to be in front. Now it's struggling to know what is in front, and then you get this. It is a bit distracting, I think, for normal people. They would probably even not notice. Then this, as you can see, like this text, this is typical AI slop. This is not your fault. This is just where AI is at a lot of times, where it just doesn't know how to generate sharp text. And what you then need to do is you need to replace this. I've did this before also with the cash machine. Basically generated the cash machine, and then the logo on the cash machine looked horrible. And with stationary shots, it's a bit easier, but even with a shot like this, you could track it. And basically what you do is you just replace something. In this case, I would probably just overlay it, but you can also go in Photoshop, first remove it, and then track that to the scene. And adding those elements will make it look less AI. And it will make the difference because now you can really see this. But this transition is really dope. I thought this was really creative with Higgsfield today. What do you guys think? I like the last transition. I agree, Leonard. I think it's difficult because I think it's like, again, a good edit, some feedback. Bit the same with David, Arish, Edriel, and Philip. They're like already good edits, but there is some feedback. Let's put you in B tier for now. We already have a lot of people in B tier.
All this fucking people! All this fucking people!
Let's see if that will change. The next one is Lazar. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real life footage into Hollywood level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Wow, so different. We haven't seen something like this before, like just a short with some motion graphics. Cool. I don't really get from from Black Hole. Bit loud with the sound effects, sort of music, but this is cool. I think this is a cool scene. Also cool how you made it vertical. Small things like how this is cropped off, also how small this is. How I always see this is like, this is a bit of like a quick method to check this. If you squint your eyes and you can't really see the elements anymore, you can get rid of them or you need to make them bigger. So here, for example, the image and video, it's so small. I now only notice it because I have to, like, I'm pausing it. And with a lot of these elements too, I would just get rid of them in this case. So I would just keep the generate and then get rid of this and then make it nice in the center. You already have some UI elements here that you know that this is like a prompt box. So that's all good. Cinematic videos, yeah, really loud. Also the sound effect here feels a bit random within seconds. You can transform real life footage into, also a bit weird that I'm hearing some sound effects here, Hollywood level masterpieces. Here the easing with the animation is a bit jerky like this, and even this is really cool though, like explaining the whole prompting process. Add camera movements like zooms, pans. I think you put a video here, you downloaded this and then you scaled it horizontally. You can really see that with text. I think you can get away with it sometimes where, like, if there's no text in the screen, but here again, because of the text is already quite a tall font, then it's really like squished, including the logo of a button. This is cool though. Their broad range of, again, the sound effects, steps, they feel a bit random, I would say. Like they come in and then like they're almost more like a distraction than it really adds something to it. But cool scene. I can really see your improvement. I know how much progress you're making. So that's really cool to see. Yeah, this beginning felt a bit random. You started off a bit rough here. Also with this image, with the white in the background. It's a bit unsharp from Black Hole in the with the black text. But it became better. But I would really check the easing. You can always send me your project file. Always happy to help out. Such a different edit, I would say. It's more difficult to compare this. It's been hard too because you speak fast. Yeah, I get that. I mean, in a lot of times, and I've said this before, you don't have to pop up all the text, right? You can even, for example, in the beginning in animation, it can even be the Higgsfield logo and just showing the prompting. You don't always have to have every caption in the screen. Of course, it depends on what type of captions you're making. If it's more a caption to put all captions in the screen to basically increase the engagement and mainly for people that listen Instagram Reels without sound, then it's different than you're adding some animation elements. And then if you're adding some animation elements like you're doing, then you can also just sometimes have like the Higgsfield logo or just like prompting, you know, like you don't always have to have everything in the screen. And then also with the timing, it's fine if you sometimes leave a screen a bit longer, but then have a smoother animation. That's why I always say like drag those animations out. And it's a bit scary because you're like, oh, now it feels a bit too long, but you almost can't really get like too slow with animations. As long as you like ease it, as long as there's continuous like movement, it's quite difficult to get it too slow. I would say, again, it's a bit like a B tier. It's difficult to compare. I would say there is a bit more feedback already comparing to gifted creations, but it's also not fair because there's also like, there's a bit more motion graphics. So there's automatically more feedback on the motion graphics. What are you guys thinking? I would keep one or two fonts consistent and change maybe the size and color. Makes sense. It's only two fonts. Okay, makes sense. I think B is fair, to be honest. Also B. Okay. We'll have a lot of B tiers, but hey, we can fit a lot of people in B tier. So we'll see. Maybe everything changes with Roy. But Lazar, you're going to be also then in B tier. And the next one is Roy. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this and even add camera movements like zooms, pans or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. The beginning, Roy. Oh, this was so cool. I really loved the concept, like how you did it, dragging you in, the storytelling, like that's amazing. I do think that there's like some rough edges, and especially with the animation. You're so good with the concepts, also like putting things out. You still drag me in. I think the pacing was good. And this is also, again, typical AI, right? With the number plate. A trick around this, basically say that no number plate or no badges, no text in your prompt. Because if you can't get it right, it almost is more like a distraction. And then also with the animation itself, you did it really well with the concept shots like this, and even but then some things felt a bit jerky. If this was like a nice smooth animation, and also later with the text, camera movements like zooms, pans or rotation, all by the press. Here also with the all by the press, it looks a bit like lower resolution, but I like the concept with the text. It's also cool, but again, quite low resolution here. I think you just used low res like screen recordings or something. And this is a really cool text animation, but again, I was missing a bit of smoothness here, or motion blur, one of those. And then the logo, I think you recreated it. I'm not sure. Again, the concepts are really good. I think it's a bit rough around the edges. Like there's just some feedback that I'm like also here with this animation. And the sound effects that you used. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into... The mouse disappeared, like that went a bit too quick. But I'm being quite nitpicky here. I think it's so different. And I think it's also like, yeah, really cool to see. Like, and again, the concepts are there. I really got dragged into it with the music and the podium. Difficult. A very different beginning in a good way. I agree. Davey an A/S for me. I mean, that's fair. I think I said this before, rough around the edges with like some unsharp elements, some like few things with the sound effects. But it was really good. So I think there's still feedback, and that's why I wouldn't say it's like an S tier, but it is really good. A tier. Lazar is between an S and A. I'm glad. But yeah, really cool edit. Love it. The next one is Leonard. Is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real life footage into Hollywood level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Cool. Really cool. Again, so different. Like with the examples too. Again, with the colors, I've said this before. If this background would have been white and you kept the button this color and maybe even the text white, I think this would have looked a bit more luxurious, looked a bit more premium. It's just a different color or a difficult color to work with. Then use it as an accent color and not as the main color. And I think Higgsfield does the same thing. If you go to their website, the website is not in this background. They just make the buttons this color and that's it. Also in their videos. So I would just have this white or like grayish maybe, like have a bit like a tone in it, that's fine. But I would have loved some continuous movement. I love the ripple effect, super dope. I wish this video was a bit longer though. Missing some smoothness here. I think also, I think some motion blur would have helped here to make it a bit more smooth. I think this is also a super dope concept. I don't know how you came up with this, but this is cool. Text did well, also with the Hollywood. I think it's really funny. This is also super cool. I love this concept. You show the feature really well without just saying like, okay, you can do this and this and this, and like make a UI animation. No, you just show the results that you can get with the zoom, pans, and rotation. Zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With a really cool shot, by the way. This animation, I would have loved if it was a bit more smooth and kept like animating, right? Now it feels a bit stationary. I think this on a black background would have been fine. This font felt a bit random, and it's also quite difficult to read with the white on the... You added the shadow for a reason, of course, I get that, but yeah, that's just the background. I think in terms of editing, like there's some feedback. I would say there's less feedback comparing to the B tier. This is almost a bit between the A and B tier. So Leonard, I'm gonna put you on A tier, but I'm gonna put you like on the last of the A tier because I do think that, yeah, it's a bit in between here. But cool edit, but just with the colors, these are small changes, right? Like if you change the color and you add motion blur to it, probably it would already be, I think that will already make a big difference. That's not like changing your whole animation or something. Totally agree. Thank you for the feedback. We'll make sure to implement the changes. Great. Nice. I'm looking forward to it. By the way, just a mid-break. I'm really here to give feedback. I'm not here to drive you into the ground. Like, of course, there's competition. And of course, I'm comparing you to others. But I am really here to help. I really want you to level up. Next one is Ibrahim. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. What an edit. What an edit. I love that. So cool. It went really quick, I must be honest, because like I have to rewatch this like a few times. That's also already my first feedback, I would say. Like I wish some scenes were a bit slower, but really cool. Again, this is the perfect example. Black background, this color as an accent color in this button. I think that's really dope. Explaining the concept, you remade this whole UI so it's sharp, it's crispy. You can try. This was dope. I would have loved if you, for example, these are small. This is small feedback, but what you could do is, for example, or leave the racing car like a bit longer and that it fades out, or that it has an echo or something to it. Now it felt quite rough going into this next scene with this girl. This is such a cool concept, though. I love it. This really cool. I love the match cuts here. And even add camera movements like zooms, pans, this is also dope, or rotate. Again, explaining the concept, we've seen this before, not by telling, but by showing. What I like about this is that how you made this design with the colors and with the icons, I think that's really dope. Broad range of apps, the only limitation, really cool. Here, okay, so I'm gonna be honest, I think the background still is a bit much. You added some dots to it. I think that is actually a really smart way to make the background look a bit more luxurious, but still it is a bit much. Cool transition with pulling this down also with Higgsfield today. Yeah, really nice. Again, some things went a bit too quick. Now that I break it down and pause a few times, it's really nice. I think you could have slowed it down a few times, but it's definitely good for the dopamine. This is an S tier. Let's be honest. Of course, there's feedback, but I'm blown away. Leonardo, well-deserved S. Davey, yeah, for sure. I'm glad you're agreeing. Next one is Abdullah. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Ooh, first of all, thanks for submitting. Second, the sound effect with the keyboard really took me out of it. It's really distracting to have like a keyboard typing all the time. It's fine to have a bit of like sound effects, but especially because you have captions in the screen all the time, you have the same sound effect. And I was just listening to the sound effect almost. And you want, of course, to drag people in. You got some cool shots. I like that. I do see like some unsharpness here. Also, I would not have this text in the screen all the time. You don't need that. You don't need the captions all the time. If you want to have some text in it, if you do want to have captions in it for some reason and make them like small and not that noticeable, that they're not like distracting, because now it's more distracting than that it adds something to the video. Then here with this arrow, I think you use the GIF here. I wouldn't use elements like this. Again, is really heavy. This can be as like a funny thing or something small, or like in certain types of edits, it can work. For example, if you're editing for like an entertainment channel or something. But in this case, you want something clean, something simple. If you want the arrow or you want to attract someone to that element, you can do that in different ways than adding an arrow. You can have something light up. You can have something like a line around this. You can have it zoom in slowly. You can have a cursor going to it. I think an arrow is really the obvious way to go. It looks a bit messy because you can still see your whole browser. I would not include this in the edit. You can just crop this out, have a black background. That will already add a lot. Or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, you got some cool shots. That is really nice. I'm also missing a bit of music. So Abdullah, I would say comparing to the others, I can also see there's just a bit more, it feels like there's a bit more effort with the others. I'm not sure. It's also difficult to judge this. Maybe you spend a lot of time on this, but just looking at the things that you added to the video, I would say this is a C tier comparing to the rest. Yeah, sorry. The next one is Davey. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today.
Love it.
Wow. A vibe. Davey. Oh. A vibe. I love the entertainment. I love comedy. Also, you did so well with the background, by the way. I think this is also a really good way. Tiny bit of glow in the background or in the bottom. I think this is like nice black background. Just some like elements with the Higgsfield green. It's within seconds. You can transform real life footage. So funny, I love it. At the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Yeah, solid edit. Davey, what are you doing? What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Hmm?
What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
This will make it more difficult. I think this is a nice S tier. Yeah, Ibrahim was also really good. What are you guys saying? Is it an S tier? SS? I would give S because the background is not Higgsfield green. Better than Ibrahim then, I guess. He made difference. He didn't show zoom rotation. I mean, separately. That is true. But Ibrahim also had some feedback. They're so, like, I wouldn't say similar, but like in terms of feedback, I think they're both really good at it. Both S friendship wins. Exactly. I mean, in this challenge, we we can actually do that. Give 2 S tiers. What I like about, so my thought process is just, what I like about Davey's is that there's some comedy in it. And for an ad, that is actually really nice because it makes you want to watch it a bit more. It's fun to watch and is also important. Whereas Ibrahim, I think, was a bit better with showing some features and also almost making you a bit more exciting to use it. Because, for example, that cat is like more engaging to watch, but maybe then Ibrahim would convert more, for example. This is just an assumption, but because Ibrahim is showing the feature with like changing the dress, changing the stuff, showing the rotation features, whereas Davey doesn't do that. So that makes it super difficult. Davey is maybe a bit more engaging, Ibrahim is a bit more converting. And both are important for a video like this. But you guys are saying, just to get this clear, that's fine, both S. Comes down to the purpose of the video, both S. Why not? Davey, S tier. Maybe I'll change it around later. Maybe we'll keep it like this. Why not? The next one is Ib. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Wow, so creative. Bit scary to see yourself like this, especially when it's like a bit off, right? This is not Tom, this is John's project. I think it's like, especially because AI is not there yet, there are some like Gen AI, like video gens that can do this really well. But if it's a bit off like this, I would have not used it. Maybe in a funny scene or some B-roll, but especially with the talking, for me at least, it takes me out of it. I think it would have been better if it's like just a random guy, which is sad because I think your animations are good. The beginning was a bit slow. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into and a bit random. But your creativity it's crazy. I think because it's like how did you come up with this hook? Super creative. I do think there are some improvements with the video, and like I said, for me that AI video more took me out of it than really dragged me into the video. So yeah, I would say it's a B tier. The next one is Ayub. This is Higgsfield. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. Wow. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Higgsfield today. Wow. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, yeah. Cinematic masterpiece. That's what we would call this. With the music. I love also that like it was like a storyline through the video with the voiceover. You didn't just like show this separately, then like an animation or something. Also no text animation. Yeah, this does make me also want to use the software, right? And also some cool stuff where you like did some mixed animations. I mean, I love AI for this. Basically where you add some After Effects stuff to it, where you don't just like put in a prompt, enter, and then upload it. Start creating with Higgsfield today. This is so low. What the fuck? You did so well with the AI shots. Prompts for this must be crazy. Thanks to my friend then. No, you did really well. Yeah, it's so difficult. It's also like, so Ibrahim and Davey were really comparable. This one is like super different because it's just focused on like the cinematography and like the AI shots. And I think the AI shots, I think they are definitely the best so far I've seen. I do think that Ibrahim and Davey did a bit better with like showing the features, also integrating it in the video where they showed some of the features with the UI elements, like how they're used. And I also think with the video of Ayub, the cinematography is great, shots are cool, and it does show basically what's possible. But it did feel like a bit of like a random story. The guy gets like a Iron Man suit, then like then he's flying through the air. I mean, this is also a bit of AI, of course. I do wish there was a bit of like a story, but maybe I didn't see it. Maybe there was a story, like some Stranger Things between it. Like till here, I would say it all made sense. Like there were some like features that you showed and it was like show don't tell. And then here we just go into like, okay, how much cinematography do you want? How crazy do you want? Yes, just showing off all the features, which I get. It does feel a bit random. I would say normally also like S tier, but I am of course comparing it to Ibrahim and Davey. I would say this because the shot quality is really good, cinematography is good, music is good, sound effects. What do you guys think? Min A? Philip is up next. He's like, can't have another S tier. No, I'm joking. Like Roy was also good. David was also good. I think with Ayub, what also makes it difficult is that, yeah, again, the cinematography is really good. Davey, I agree with Philip. I don't know, all of AI in the video, they make them same. That also makes sense. Only different prompts. If it's just mainly AI shots, then what you're going to look at is the quality of the shots because you still pick them. And then also the storytelling. How good of a story is there in it? And then maybe if you added some own elements to it, for example, like some effects using After Effects, also looking at that. I wish there was a bit of like a story in it, Ayub. I think that would have really made a big difference. And I think also if you would have added some like features that you like showed off the features. You did that in the beginning, but then after that you went blazing. Yeah, but we have all different tastes. And here's something I would more like and you don't. Yeah, fair. That is also true. Okay, for now, Ayub, I'm going to put you before everyone in A tier. I do think you're more like between S and A. You're more like a S tier, but I think Davey and Ibrahim just are really like, they have some really good submissions. And that makes it for me difficult to put you in S tier too. I'm sure that also Hicksfield, like they're gonna love this. I hope we can get some collabs out of this. So I'll definitely be connecting some of you. The next one is Philip. This is Hicksfield. Hicksfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real-life footage into Hollywood-level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Hicksfield today. Ooh, I like that you, and I've said this before also with others, you don't always have to have like super quick paced videos. You can have like a long shot. That can be totally fine. Even if I'm talking about something else, you can have a long shot. Sometimes you can, yeah, just like keep, for example, here. You can transform real life footage into Hollywood level masterpieces. I think this is so dope. You just chose one good shot and then there's just some text. It doesn't always have to be like, however, I do think that here, there are some moments where I'm like, okay, to create VFX shots like this and even add camera movement. And then it's like add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation. All zooms, pans, and rotations. Okay, you're like, okay, I'm not showing that. That's cool. You're still in this shot. All by the press of a button. With their broad range of them, we see like a black screen. Perhaps the only limitation is your image. Then we see this next animation, and then we see this dock. And then, yeah, that takes me out of it a bit. If you would have gone for the full cinematic, then showed some examples with the rotation and like some cool shots. And now this feels a bit random. I get it. Like, okay, you want people to choose Hicksfield over the other apps, I guess. I think it doesn't really make sense in the story, basically. And then also here, you can really see that this is like AI generated with the text like scrambled everywhere. If you see something like this, again, I would or not have this, just leave it out, or make it yourself, or add a screenshot that is a bit like high res. This feels a bit random too. I don't know what is here on the island. And then, like I said, I like when you drag out shots, but sometimes I am like, okay, there's basically two shots that we looked at, maybe add like one or two. It doesn't have to be like the opposite where it's like tuck shots every second, but at least like showing that, again, show don't tell, showing the rotation feature somehow, as we saw with the others. Still like a good edit. But yeah, I do also see that I feel like there's a bit more into, for example, a video like Arish, or there's a bit more animation in it, maybe, or a couple more shots. Yeah, I do see a difference there. If I have to compare it with Abdullah, I think it's before Abdullah, but I would say probably after Ib. So I would put it here. Or, you know what? I'm going to put you in B tier. Philip, yeah, not my best video. Hey, that's fair. Like, that's also nice because you participated. You can see the others and see how they implemented the exact same footage. And then you can learn from that. For the first time, it's not the worst. Definitely not, man. And you participated. That's also important. And last one is Kenny. This is Hicksfield. Hicksfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. You can transform real life footage into Hollywood level masterpieces. Use it to create VFX shots like this, and even add camera movements like zooms, pans, or rotation, all by the press of a button. With their broad range of apps, the only limitation is your imagination. Start creating with Hicksfield today. Wow. What an edit. Oh, the energy. Okay, first things first, you did really well. I think it's super dope. But the sound, oh, it was way too loud in my opinion. I've said this before. Rather have music and sound effects too low than too high. And why I'm saying it is because you've seen this now also with the submissions. Of the 15 submissions that we now have had, the feedback is never, oh, the sound effects or the music is too low. Because that almost never happens. Here, I almost couldn't hear the voice anymore. Especially when there's a lot of elements, when you have like such a heavy music, which by the way, I think the music fits and I think it's such a cool edit because this is such a cool intro, cool sound effect. It drags you in. Higgsfield lets you turn static images into cinematic videos within seconds. This is also so dope. You really explain the features well. You can transform real life footage into Hollywood level master. Super funny too. But I liked how you combined that with some motion graphics. That's dope. Ending also, I love it. It's so sad that that music, oh, it's so important, right? It's half of the video. Now I'm gonna compare it. And then I would say it's a bit the same with Ayub. I think Ayub would have been an S tier without Ibrahim and Davey being here. And Kenny, I think the same for you. It would have been an S tier, I think, if Ibrahim and Davey wouldn't be there. And I'm going to put it before Ayub because you did explain the features a bit better with the UI animation on top of it, I would say. A lot of shots were really cool. Just like Ayub's, by the way. I think I'm going to just keep it how it is. I can move people, of course, but this is a different challenge anyway. Might as well just keep it like this. You know what? Let's lock it in. Let's lock it in. Everyone that submitted, you guys are amazing. Big shout out to all the editors that participated. Also, thanks to Higgsfield for sponsoring this video. Do check them out. Link is in the description. If you also want to participate in the editing challenge, then do join the Fullstack Editor Club. Link is in the description too. Don't forget to subscribe and then I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.